Yes, your Saturday is not complete until you are here. Citizens Forum on Sapiencia's channel. And this is from me to you a very warm welcome. On Thursday, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu visited Anambra State, and so many discussions going on, and very beautiful soundbite soon. So many things we can remember from, the dance of Mr. Governor and Mr. President. That little dance move was nice. Some things also being talked about, and some entertainment also came out. Umahi, Bianca, so many things to talk about. But today on Citizens Forum, we are here to really talk about Governor Chukwuma Soludo. Of course, last week we flagged off this discussion. Today we'll be talking about the governor's 4 years tenure and also his governorship bid, his re-election bid. He wants to go another 4 years. So what are his plans? What is his vision? And all of that. We'll be talking about that. And the president's visit. Are there implications for the Anambra? What do the Anambra stand to gain by this, from this visit? We'll be talking about all of that today. Of course, I'm not alone. Today with me in the studios, I do have Dr. Alex Obiogbolu. He is the special advisor to Governor Soludo on political matters. My name is Jude Joman Ekeji, and take a front seat. Welcome to the program. Good morning and welcome to Citizens Forum, sir.
Good morning. It's a wonderful day.
Yes, it is. And, the last time you were here, was it this month, last month? Funny how time flies.
Time flies.
All right.
Good.
So, I'm really struggling to see where we begin from. But I think let us begin from the very beginning, because the biggest talk is about the president's visit. And so let's really begin from there. Tell us, is this all politics? Is it that Anambra had so much money and just decided to, like Gogowan said, we have so much money. The problem is, what do we do with this money? Was it one of those, okay, maybe we just invite the president to come down and show him we have money? Or is there something, or there are things that Anambra stand to gain from this visit? Let's begin from there.
When you actually look at the definition of politics,
all right,
which is the struggle for allocation of resources, then you can say definitely there was politics in the president's visit.
Okay.
And but am I glad? I am excited.
All right.
Because as someone who's passionate about Anambra, the governor and the Anambra gained a lot tremendously from the visit of Mr. President. Because we practice a presidential system, there's the executive and the legislature.
Yeah.
The executive has enormous powers, especially being that they execute the budget of the government of the day,
right,
be it at the local government, at the state, or at the federal.
Yeah.
So you never have enough to do all the work. Like it's always said, nobody can finish all the work.
All right.
As you're doing one work and that problem is appearing, and you have to face it. So to have your budget and to have federal government assisting and supporting you in so many things you're doing, especially things that involve and need their authority and their play,
all right,
it was tremendous. I mean, again, to show the president that Anambra is a hospitable state, is very hospitable, to show the world how we roll, was under drama,
how we roll,
and what Mr. Governor is saying is that we want to turn Anambra from a departure lounge to a destination point.
All right,
and it's all part of our global objective. So when the president comes, every network hooks in.
Okay.
Everybody focuses on the state, and it gives them the opportunity for those who haven't traveled to the state to see what the state looks like, to see what their people are like. Okay. To hear the president speak and give his own impression about what he has seen. And the focus on the legacy projects we've done, the mini city government house, the solution fund city, which is supposed to be the entertainment arm of our drive for investment into Anambra State.
Right.
To see all those things and showcase Anambra to the world and Nigeria was a great opportunity we couldn't have missed. So for me, it was a great visit. And I believe Mr. President was happy and the state was better for it.
All right. So now, when we look at it, one of the things that, I think the main thing that was being announced for being behind the president's visit was for him to come and commission what this administration calls legacy projects. Take us through this briefly and tell us how this project, in your estimation, benefits the Anambra not just today, but tomorrow. Okay,
you know, the president was physically at 4 locations. And what he did commission physically were some of our legacy projects. Because when you talk about legacy, what are you leaving behind? How does it reflect to the future? How does it help and advance because of the future? The government city is the administrative center. That's where things are run. That's where people want to come and say, okay, this is a big player. These guys, we're cool with them, we can invest. And for the government house city, the houses, the administration of the executive arm, that is a great thing. For the fact that for 34 years, we have been outside the capital.
Outside the capital?
Yes. We've been outside the capital.
You mean the place? You mean the office I know is...
The office you know.
Is outside the capital?
No, the lodge is outside the capital. And the office is the makeshift place where RCC, the construction...
all right, I get it.
So for 34 years, we had that genes, that we didn't have a befitting government house. And we didn't center everything together in a place. And that was what we achieved with this. The Fun City is an entertainment hub. The aim of the administration is to make Anambra a prosperous place. A place to live, work, learn, invest, and enjoy.
All right.
Now, part of it is the Fun City. Because what it does is that it attracts visitors and tourists into the state. And when you do that, there are chain-like events that happen where you have the hotels making money, you have the woman who's selling mama put making money because the family has come in and along the way decide to drop and buy something along the way. So it attracts people into the city. It also brings people to come and want to live in the city because everybody wants to live where they have access to everything. There's security, and then there's the business environment, and then there's the fun environment where you can catch your fun. So when you look at these 2 projects, they are things that will bring economic prosperity to the state. But when I say legacy projects, this is not the major legacy projects. Are one, the road infrastructure that connects and makes business easy for you to do business. The second legacy project is in terms of education. What we've done in education. The fact, these are intangible things you don't see, but yield results. Because we have to build on the human capital of a state. To be able to meet the new wave of development coming around the world. So what we said is, let them be productive at home and exportable abroad. You see what we're doing in the tech. Mr. Governor has invested in the tech industry. We have what you call the Solution Innovation District.
I keep asking, has that project
digital trial
kicked off?
It has kicked off. Results, we trained about 20,000 on digital skills.
In Atoka?
Digitally online.
No, I mean the
permanent site.
I mean, when you talk about this project, is it just like you said? Is it something one can see physically? Like there's a building.
Yeah, they're going to have their office building. Right. Kind of where.
But you're saying the training right now is happening online.
They are doing in terms of the activities and programs. They've done They've done 20,000 trained on digital skills. They've done 4,000 on Code Anambra, where they get them skills in terms of programming and other digital skills. Then you've got also the big district that is being built. Is ongoing. It should be completed, I'm sure, before the end of this year. Right? You've got the 1U2 skills, which is again another form of human capital development. 1U2 skills, where we have trained and empowered 5,000 last year, and we're doing another 8,000 and some fraction this year. Right? So when you look at those things, you look at the free education Mr. Governor has given, right from primary to secondary school.
All right.
You see the recruitment of teachers. Hitherto, our classrooms lack teachers. There were schools without teachers. Now we have highly qualified teachers who were employed strictly on merit and competence, and have also been given digital skills and digital tools to be able to take the students into the 21st century. Now you've got another program where we're developing 22 smart schools in the state, one in each local government.
Smart schools,
fully smart schools, where you use digital technology to teach students, and they also become proficient in use of digital skills.
But it's still ongoing?
Yes, it's ongoing. Now, that is education. For me, that is a legacy project of any government. To be able to invest so much in education, which is the pride. You know, Anambra has always been at the top, but you have to work hard to remain at the top.
When it comes to education.
Now you look at health, because health is wealth. Unfortunately, today in Nigeria, the average lifespan is about 47 years old.
47, yeah.
So you've got to invest in health for you to have a strong manpower. He started with helping each family to lessen their financial burden. He said, we're going to give them free antenatal, free delivery, free CS if you've done your antenatal within the public hospitals.
Free CS?
Yes, free CS if you follow the antenatal.
Okay.
You don't walk in and get indications and then get primed for CS when you've not been attending antenatal. You know, so that has been gone. The full refurbishment of 17 general hospitals and building 5 new general hospitals, 5 brand new. And guess where? In places that had never seen any form of healthcare at that level. Some didn't even have as little as 1 primary healthcare center. General hospitals were built. Opoko, Fege. You know, Fege was where after the war, the Civil War, you know, there was a mass return of people. There was in Fege, people settled before they started their business and we came back.
I would have thought it was Awada with the population.
No, it was Fege that was there.
Fege.
It was then a new layout, and most people stayed there. That was where destruction had not affected most. You know, so since that time, since 1970, that area had not gotten 1 hospital, government hospital. And then Mr. Governor says they need to. You look at Okpoko, the same thing. They built a brand new hospital there, Anako. Then in Anambra East, Agleriotu. Also in Anambra West. In all of them in the north, Central Zone, where these are places that were hitherto difficult to reach. And of course, we can't talk about the road infrastructure. We never can stop our over 750 kilometers of road, of which, as of today, we probably have about 520 kilometers delivered. High quality roads that are meant to last for 20 years. And not only that, Mr. Governor decided that we categorize our roads into category A, category B, C. And the category A roads where the decision was made to dualize them. So today you have a dualization of the road from Amobia all the way past Nagolo, Nanka, Ekulobia, Oga, up to the Owerri border.
But Mr. President couldn't have commissioned all of this.
Because I'm saying that when we say, Mr. President, you know, you asked me the question.
I mean, that was the essence of that.
You know, I said, he was. He commissioned physically 3 projects.
3?
Yes. But in essence, these were just a few of the legacy projects.
So let's talk about those. Let's talk about those. I thought I had 6.
No, 3.
Okay, 3.
He was in 4 locations. But
was there, maybe the plan initially was for him to be at 6? I don't know.
No, we have the Emeka Nyoko.
No, I'm just wondering where that information of 6 came from.
I wouldn't know.
Okay, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the 3 he was at.
And I've just mentioned Solution Fund City.
Okay, Solution Fund City.
The government house city.
Okay.
Right? and then the Unizik, where they come. And of course, he came down for reception at Alex Ekweme Square.
All right, now before we go to, because that's another thing I want us to talk about, and that's another phrase. I mean, campaigns will soon heat up. Everybody's talking about elect me. Mr. Governor is talking about re-elect me. Yeah. That's a different English. So before we go to there, let's talk about something that's also being talked about online. In your estimation, because you've talked about the reason of having Mr. President. You've also talked about all of the things that has been done, and there was something you said when you talked about when Mr. President is here, and rightfully so. You said every network is going to zoom in.
Yes.
Everybody's going to be interested. Everybody's going to watch, and whatever is said there, besides just seeing the state, is also hearing things that have been said. Some people say, and this is what they think, that Mr. Governor demarketed the state in some of the things he said. Do you share that? Do you see sense in what they say?
Like what?
Like when he talked about the last time a president was there. In fact, that was exactly where they lashed at. There was a point when he was talking, when he said the last time a president was here was it 2000, and he mentioned the year 2011, 2012, and it was to come here and commission a brewery. And they say no, this is demarketing the state. When you heard that, you definitely have heard people say that.
Yes.
Do you agree with them?
Well, they're playing politics. I mean, he was delivering a speech.
All right.
And when you deliver a speech, when it's your administration,
okay,
you want to improve on what others have done.
All right.
Right? And I'm sure all the governors, if they truly desire the growth of Anambra State, they'll want their successors to do better than them.
Okay.
I mean, every father's desire is that his son will be greater than him.
Greater than him, yeah.
So, for Mr. Governor saying, this is what we're doing, you have an august visitor, and you tell him, listen, the last time your office was here, it was to do this. Now today, we're doing something greater. I mean,
okay.
So those who criticize it are seeing it from their own point of view. So you've got to impress your guest so that he's able to buy into your project. And what was the result? He got what he wanted. Mr. Governor got what they wanted. The president agreed to do the erosion, which is huge. You need
handle the erosion sites.
Humongous funds, yes.
Okay.
He agreed he was going to help us.
Was there any specifics? Was there any specifics as to which ones? Because I know Anambra seems to have a lot.
One thing about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is that you always know where he stands.
Okay.
He's not the usual politician who says things and doesn't mean them.
Okay.
I mean, take the promise he made. I'm going to remove the subsidy. And people have said in the past, they come into
that seemed to be the only promise he has
when he came in. No, what I'm trying to say is that it's not whether the right or wrong.
All right.
Rightness or wrongness of that decision. The issue is that he kept to his promise.
All right. So erosion sites.
So for him to promise us that, we're sure we're on the right path.
All right.
He promised also to work with us in security. He acknowledged what we had done in security.
All right.
Part of the problem we faced with the previous administration was the lack of interest in assisting us with security. Now we have the operation.
You're referring to Buhari?
Yes.
Buhari's administration. All right.
Because you remember that Professor Soludo's administration commenced towards the end of Buhari's administration. So you see a big difference in terms of cooperation from the federal towards enhancing our security architecture.
All right.
And you see the full complement of the Nigerian security services in the Udogachi. And that has helped secure. So he promised to continue to do more for us. Right. And that is huge. Because security is part of the thing that is under the federal government. They control the security agencies. So for us, Anambra was better for it.
Okay.
Because you and I know that number one need for us in Anambra is security.
Nigeria, actually, yeah.
Yeah. So you've got a president who comes in and says, Professor Charles Soludo is a brilliant mind. I told you that when I came on campaign here. I will continue to work with him.
All right.
He's my friend.
All right.
You can't get anything better. Because sometimes in the same party, in the same political party, you will have a president who's not a friend of a governor. We saw it in PDP.
Yeah, we are coming to that even in.
You saw where my former boss Mbanju was governor, but he wasn't a friend to President Obasanjo, the SY president.
Yeah.
And you don't get anything. So if you've got somebody from another party,
all right,
who the president calls his friend and shows it in deed, what else can you want?
Then you say you've gotten onto. All right, so let's stress that. Next, I'm going to ask you. I mean, you've talked about something I was going to ask you later, and that is the governor's 4 years in office.
Yes.
You've wrapped that up when we were talking about the commissioning. Next, I want to ask you is the re-election. But I'm going to ask in a different way because I want us to tap into something you just said. One thing Mr. Governor did that some people will watch and say, okay, maybe this is one of the essence of this visit. I mean, besides all of these things you said, is to secure another 4 years and ensure that he has the buy-in of the president, who of course is the head of the party in power. One thing that is being said by somebody who contested in the APC primary, and that is Valentine Ozugbo, of course, formerly of the Labour, first in PDP and then Labour Party. Last time he contested, he contested on the platform of the PDP. Yes, he did contest on the platform of the PDP, but later they come to Labour Party. Now, when he contested this election, one thing he's alleging is that the governor has undue influence in the APC, and that the emergence of the APC's flag bearer in this coming up election, Prince Nicholas Ukachukwu, was actually something that was engineered by Mr. Governor, because Mr. Governor wouldn't want him on the ballot because of two things. One, he's afraid of him. Two, he can't manipulate him. At least that's what he's saying in public space. Now, another 4 years, do you think one of the things Mr. Governor is doing and has done is to ensure that the APC, just like you said, some parties, it has happened lots of time. I still remember when the PDP had, what's his name now? The one I remember vividly is having Tony Nwoye on the ballot, but coming down here and not supporting him, but supporting, I think then it was Mr. Peter Obia, or is it, I can't really remember. Was it Obiano?
Obiano.
It was Obiano. And I think at some point it was also having somebody on the ballot, okay, was it Ngige? But like people say, I mean, word on the street, right or wrong, also coming down here and supporting Mr. Peter B. Has Abga, and by extension Mr. Soludo, now played another game with saying, okay, you know what, Mr. President, your party has a candidate, but come down here, be friends with me, and ignore your candidate, which some people think they saw happened when the candidate of the APC himself could not even come into, so how do you respond to this before we throw open the phone lines?
You know, let me just...
I hope this all made sense.
Yes, I'll thank clearly, and I need to break it in two.
All right.
One, for someone who's been in politics for over 3 decades.
True.
It's good that I share my experience with the younger ones who are listening and watching.
Yeah.
The president, as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces,
all right,
gets a daily briefing every day. And the brief he gets and what he reads, nobody else has that assemblage of security briefings.
True.
So he may be talking to a governor, but he knows certain things the governor thinks he doesn't know about.
Okay. Information is power.
So when, as a president is sitting down and his candidate produces, his party produces a candidate in a state like Anambra State, for example, there are briefings he gets, not just from the party chairman, but from security agencies and from INEC, the ombudsman of the political parties. Now, he takes a decision strategic to his own interest and that of the nation. So if a political
or maybe his party.
That's what I'm saying. If a political party throws up, his own political party throws up somebody he knows that has some negative background, that along the line, when it comes out to the public knowledge, may infringe on the integrity of his own political party, you wouldn't expect him to put his whole weight behind him. Now, in the case of Val Osibo and what he's saying,
all right,
Val is a nice guy in terms of personality.
Okay.
But his actions has shown that he's politically naive. And therefore, and for you to be naive means you're not able to process information, either gather the information and process it appropriately to make sense, which is why people will see you as naive. And it's not just a word I want to use carelessly. It's a word I want to use with caution. Because how would somebody who came first runner-up in an election 4 years ago suddenly contest for Senate and he can't even get the nomination of the Senate? Leave that party. First and foremost, he starts condemning the leader in that party. Then the leader leaves the party for them. Then he jumps out of that party later on and goes to support the same leader he was condemning. And suddenly, in that party, he says he wants to be governor again. And before the nomination process of that party, he jumps out of that party and enters another party. Now, for most people, they thought, well, there's something he knows we don't know. Maybe he's been guaranteed something.
I felt the same way too.
Many felt. But you go to the poll to contest an election and you get only 67 votes out of 1,000, close to 1,700 votes. Meanwhile, in the same 3 years before then, in the same under party, you were just a greenhorn. You defeated all the experienced politicians. That shows that there's a problem. I can only sum it up by saying he's politically naive. So his statements here will only reflect his naivety because he doesn't understand where the rain beat him. The rain didn't fall from Abga. Mr. Governor is an Abga person who was running his own re-election nomination in his own party.
But for the sake of these young ones, you are trying to advise.
Yes.
Okay, please finish up because I'm very interested in this.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
The person he should be worried about was Mr. President involved in that process?
Okay.
Because people like us, and I'm sure you may have thought so, thought maybe he had a deal. Especially when we saw him on social media with the president's daughter. Was it the president's daughter?
Yeah,
president's daughter. He was with. So the assumption you put 2 and 2, maybe this guy is going to shock them like he shocked them in PDP. But then it was total disappointment. You know. So for me, him wanting to blame his loss on
the governor.
The governor is like a guy who went to an exam hall and he was supposed to make an A and he flunked with F, saying, "Listen, it was that boy sitting next to me. He was distracting me. He didn't allow me to write my exam." You know, I mean.
Now let's say something. Now, for the sake of these young people you are very interested in advising this morning, don't waste more than 1 minute in this. Wrap it up beautifully so we all can learn. I'm also interested in learning. If you were, I mean, if he sought your advice, I mean, we seek the advice of people even when they are outside of our parties, and that's human, right? And he met you, and then he said, see what's happening in Labour Party now. See what's happening in Labour Party today, and he throws it on the table, and it's clear to you.
If who met me?
If Valentine.
Okay.
If he had met you.
Yes.
At the point he wanted to jump ship, maybe he was, you know, politicians will always say, we consulted far and wide, we consulted our father and our mother and all of that. Let's say you were one of those, and then he threw his cards on the table, and you looked at the cards and you say, you're not going to win this primary in Labour Party. And then he told you, I want to go to the APC. And he confides in you. I didn't have a deal with anybody. I mean, you are going to ask him some questions. why would you move to Labour Party at this time, to the APC at this time? And then you ask him some questions to see if he has some mega assurances. And he tells you he doesn't have those mega assurances. But then it's clear to you that he's going nowhere in this election with it. What would you have advised him to do? Because you talked about...
Well, I can afford to say it now because it's the past.
Yeah, it's the past, yeah.
For the future. Because there's no...
for those who want to learn.
I will give advice that is inimical to my own interest. I'm of the app.
I get.
So we can talk about it now. There are two moves in that on the chessboard. Right? One, to stay in Labour and fight. Okay. Or to move to APC. That's what he's offering on the board. Yeah. Now, as a politician who is socially aware, I'm aware of the problems in APC, Labour Party, yeah. And I'm aware of the opportunities in APC. Two options he will have done, any politician will have done, no matter the assurances you are getting from Elvis. And you know, politics, they always tell you, Ijebego, you're winning, but they'll disappoint you. Is to stay in Labour and fight on principle. Okay. Lose the primaries, but remain steadfast and say, this is what I believe in. Right? Or to move to APC, knowing full well these assurances are not casting stone. So the moment you lose, which was what I also thought was a strategy he was playing, you walk across the aisle and shake the winner and pledge your loyalty to him. That way, your supporters get integrated into the party mainstream. That way, when everything comes down to the wire, the party will recognize your contributions and efforts and reward you appropriately. Maybe now or in the future. But to take your party to court, you know, on your first visit. You haven't stayed there for a long time to say you've been hurt several times. On the first one, I don't think it would be attractive to anybody in that party. All right.
So my audience are definitely not going to pay for consultancy on this one. All right, our Sales Citizens Forum on Sapiencia's channel. Of course, I still have Dr. Alex Obiogbolu in the studios today. We'll throw open the phone lines. The phone numbers to call 080-6313-0020, and that is 080-6313-0020. And you can also call into 081-574-66270, and that is 081-574-66270. Jude Joman Ekeji on Citizens Forum Sapiencia. All right, let's see. Hello. Oh, sorry. All right, maybe before the call comes in. All right, there is this one. Hello. Hello. Is this network once again? Last week we had that problem with the network. I hope this week is better. Hello.
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
What I want to ask is this.
Properly introduce yourself, sir.
Mr.
Felix from Opo.
Yes.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Felix.
You said President Tinubu is responsible by removing policy to remove subsidy. It's not what I said. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead and ask your question. We are here.
The first subsidy Tinubu removed, is it helping Nigeria now or is it not into trouble? Because I don't think for me, I don't think that is a promise. Because the promise that kept Nigeria into that kept Nigeria into hunger, everything is affected. I don't think that one is a promise. That accomplishing that promise that kept Nigeria into darkness is not a welcome development. Thank you.
All right, thank you. But then today, let us get to focus on Anambra State. Sorry, no, I'm not talking to you. Let's get to focus on Anambra State and the visit and all of that. We have enough time for Mr. President. Yeah, welcome, sir.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yeah, welcome, sir.
It is Monday. Johnson, I'm calling in from Monica.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson.
Thank you. Please, I have one or two questions. Because the visit of Mr. President, I believe it cost Anambra a vacation to host him, to mobilize security and all that. Now compare it to the benefit we intend to derive from this visit. From the look of things now, the only thing we can boast saying that we have achieved is the commissioning of all these achievements so far made by the governor. Other promises, the patient tackle of erosion and others, I can see those things as a political promise. I want to differ from where Obiogbolu says that he knows the president that he came his promise. The president made many promises during the time of the election when he was campaigning. Those promises have not been kept till now. So I want to know, compare with the promise made to host him and others, compare with the achievements or the benefit we are going to derive from his visit, I want to ask, was it not a kind of wasting of Anambra resources? Couldn't have Mr. Governor invited somebody like Peter who would have asked him to forget about all this somewhere and then do the commissioning? Couldn't have the governor himself or invite other persons that would have just just a little expenses and then you bring him here and the commissioner began bringing the president was his visit a benefit to Anambra or for personal political score? Please, I want to know. Good morning.
All right. Maybe you quickly answer that.
Yeah, I want to restate again.
All right.
That the benefits of the presidential visit, one is you get the opportunity to focus the world on your state.
You said so.
Now, the tremendous development of the state is what investors are looking for when they want to come in. No one can use his money alone. No state can use his money alone. The GDP of the state is not enough for you to develop your state. You need private investments.
All right.
Now, one of the things, objectives was to show Mr. President that Anambra State is one of the fastest growing economies in the country.
All right.
And that the pace of development and infrastructural development is such that we are ready for investment.
All right.
You saw the Mr. President mentioning that he came to Anambra to campaign in 2023. It was in the same Alex Ekwueme square he came to.
Yeah.
But the Alex Ekwueme square he came to 2 days ago was a total transformation from what he had seen. The roads were much more improved. The federal roads, we had at the same time fixed the federal roads. Mr. Governor doesn't wait for people, for the federal government, and we go ahead and fix our road because on the Anambra, Nabanaya mostly.
But he gets that permission for a refund?
Yes. No, not refund, because refund, it takes years to get refunds.
But I thought if you don't get that permission, you wouldn't get the refund, even if it's later.
Yes, but we get the permission. Of course, we go with the controller of Federal Ministry of Works.
All right.
Another thing he needs to understand in terms of what was it for us is the fact that this is a presidential system of governance. The bulk money rests with the federal government. The people, when you have FDI coming in, foreign direct investments coming in, it is guided by the federal government.
Okay.
So when you have a president who has seen what is happening in the state, who has been a governor before, you saw when he talked about the challenge, he said when you had the CBN challenge, Mr. Governor overwhelmed, when people thought there was going to be a problem, when you had the ocean, just like when you had the ocean problem in Lagos, he was referring to his own achievements in Lagos.
Sorry, so, let's pick this. Hello?
Yes,
Yeah, welcome, sir.
thank you very much. Mr. Obiogbolu, good morning to you.
Good morning.
My name is Implication from Manager.
All right.
Talking about Mr. President's visit to Anambra State. To me, it's a kind of it's a political visit. But I don't want to drop more on it. But where I'm so much interested and confined on the project he came to commission. Talking about the governor's lodge and the 33 buildings, in as much as I must not take it away, Soludo have done very well. And Anambra State, beautiful projects here and there. But the one I'm getting tired of, the 32 buildings in that governor's lodge or whatever, is of which use? 32 buildings. Do you know how much it costs Anambra State to build that? And you call it the governor's lodge. They turned down the street in London where the British Prime Minister is living. How many buildings is there? But Anambra State in a Nigeria, poor country like Nigeria, a state is building 32 buildings in one governor's lodge. When governor is alone, the 32 buildings, who are they living there? When we have a lot of things to do in Anambra State with that particular money. You understand now? And the so-called presidential lodge in that governor's lodge, of which benefit? President, how many times are they coming to Nigeria? This one that Tinubu came now, he never visit Anambra State again. He finishes his term or even 8 years. Then you ask yourself, the building, millions of naira that is being used there, of what benefit to a poor country like Nigeria and poor state like Anambra State?
All right.
Do you know that if that money is being used for even CCTV in a beautiful road he constructed like house, very beautiful places he constructed very well. But if you have never visited Anambra State for long, when you come to Anambra now, you will not recognize it. Beautify it and put sovereign cameras with that money. Not building projects for few individuals that is not even going to create money for the state.
All right.
The state are in very need of so many things.
All right. I think you've made your point. So we can also have others.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much. Please let's ensure to keep us.
At Ochanja, there's a CCTV installed at Ochanja.
All right. So you just get the main point, so we can take more callers. Please let's try to make it brief and straight to the point. Hello.
Good morning.
Yeah. Welcome, sir.
Dr. Lex. I always like your eloquence. You know you are tall and speaks very well. Good morning.
Yeah, but then those of us who are short, you've discriminated against us. Properly introduce yourself and go ahead.
Yeah, are you short?
No. Let's properly introduce yourself and go ahead.
Tall or short?
Yeah. All right, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, this is Erosion from Monitor.
All right.
I agree with Obiogbolu on his objection about the vow. That's what they call political suicide. That is what our beloved one has committed. Because when you look at the scenario, incumbent governor is for his own. Am I right?
Yes. Yes.
And he has got his first tenure. If it was a virgin primaries, are you getting what I call virgin? I mean, both of them are contesting for the first time. Are you getting it? I think it will be a good atmosphere. But knowing that the man that is there is from his side, and with what people are saying or seeing, he has not done badly. Are you getting it? Probably that will have been a waste of time. But I said I would have loved him to stay put where he is and make a name. Are you aware now that Anambra 2029-30 is on board? Am I wrong or right?
Right.
Say I'm right, Abi.
Yes.
That's how you plan yourself. I don't want to spill the egg. As a man, if you have my number, I will have tell you something. When it happened, you know that I know what I'm saying about. Are you getting it? That's how you plan yourself. Know when you're supposed to strike. When the vibration is high, you do what? You bow and come back again. It's not that if I don't get ticket here, I'll go here tomorrow. That's what I said in 2023. That most of these people that won the election was just by mistake. Are you getting it? Instead of by merit, it was because of one man, His Excellency. It will be. And today, they are moving away like pack of cats. On the visit of the president, that's why he has come and gone. But my annoyance is that the whole CP was thanking Anambra people for not being violent. Bobo, I hope you heard him say about that. Is Anambra violent before? Did you expect Nigerians to fight president when it comes? Are you getting it? Again, on the grapevine, I heard that the visit was not all that Anambra State making. And that was why when he came in, where did he first visited? I think it was Unisik, am I right?
Yes.
Because of Anyoko. when you climb an Iroko tree, you have to climb what you want to climb because you may not climb it again. But my worry again is about those things he came to do. Part of the unique aspect of it. As the governor, I would have liked him, just like Morocco said. I don't know how much was pumped into that pamphlet. I would have liked him if I have taken him down to Onitsha for him to come and see some streets and roads he has done. Are you getting it? We deserve that. So man, if President comes to Onitsha, we would be happy. I think I've seen the signature of the governance. But that's what now. I don't know how long I'll be at Oka. The Fun City, maybe you are close to there now. I don't know how much is the ticket to that place, but I can afford it. We are talking about signature project that the masses can make use of. Because he had in Abia, where the so-called government his house or lodge is now being converted, trying to be converted to a hotel.
All right.
I think let us embark on a project that is meaningful. I was thinking he should talk with the president about the airport that we close up to now, what we know. And also talked about how to make the cargo airport in Anambra full international. These are things we generate money for the state. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for calling in. Clearly can take another call. I think maybe from next week we'll start regulating the minutes people spend online. But then wonderful contribution. All right. So you've heard everybody. Let's use them as a point of contact to those who want to call in.
You know, one, democracy is, it comes in a rainbow color.
True.
People have their various views.
Yep.
The important thing is that these views coalesce at the end of the day to provide for progress and development. For those who talk about the priority given to the government house, Mr. Governor is working on all sectors. The government house represents the administration function of government.
All right.
The utility, he talked about the 2 buildings are there. The amphitheater that allows people to have meetings and host events are there.
For commercially, like people can come from outside the government and do?
No, for people to meet when governments have functions.
All right.
Now, when you look at other sectors, because while you're talking about, well, I don't need the government house. Yes, I mean, you're not going to be the governor, so you won't need the government house. But there's the free education, there's the health, there are the roads, there's the pharmaceutical hub being done at Oba. There's the mixed industrial city in Orumba South, Oboji.
All right.
Right? You've got the 63 kilometers of dualized road going on from Waguagolo all the way to Okija through Newi.
Yeah.
The one that's coming in the north is here. But let me tell you something.
Yeah.
When the president is coming and he's got a commission project, it happened in Enugu State. He can't be everywhere. And then you're looking at the security nature, you're looking at time he's going to spend, you're also looking at the logistics of moving from location. Certainly will have loved to governor to commission our roads, Mr. President to commission our roads.
Yeah.
Those are legacy projects also, because for once we now have full interconnectivity between the local governments in terms of smooth drive. But when you see, my friend mentioned about the beautiful junction roundabout at Ochanja, and he said they could have put CCTV there with that money.
On the road, yeah.
Yes, but actually there's CCTV now. I advise him to go and look clearly. CCTVs are not mounted where people see them. As part of the comprehensive security architecture that was put together with the birth of Agune Chamber and Udogachi, there's the technological arm of it.
Was it
closed-circuit TVs are there.
And there's a control center. I think it was Obiano.
And there's a command and control center installed in the new government. When you talk about these 32 buildings talking about, one of them houses the command and control center of our security architecture.
So right now in Anambra State, which parts of Anambra State enjoy this connectivity to the CCTV and can in real time be viewed from the control center?
I wouldn't be able to mention all the places, but I can tell you for sure that there is. If you go, and then secondly, the success we've been able to achieve in terms of apprehending criminals.
Okay.
Right? Once as a result of this escalation of architecture using technology. The fact those young people that committed the heinous crime were apprehended using technology. So these things are part of what government has done. So you don't, when I'm spending on security, I can spend on administration, I can spend on social order, I can spend on youth empowerment, I can spend on agriculture. You do everything simultaneously at the same time.
But somehow
I also in agriculture, close to 2 million seedlings, oil palm seedlings, were distributed. In the next 4 or 5 years, when we begin to see the value chain effect of it, that is economic growth for the country. So there are things that you see that are not visible, but they actually help.
All right.
That fund city is going to generate revenue for the state. Apart from the fact that it helps in attracting persons to come into the state. And when they come into the state, they will lodge in hotels, they'll pay taxes, they'll make purchases. That's how to drive people, footfall into the state. So if you have a population of...
So the fund city is functional right now. It's not like ongoing, you know.
No, it's just been commissioned. I think on that day, there were people there who were using the facility. When
I'm just saying, is it something that's still work in progress, or is it something?
No, I think it's being functional. They're going to activate it this week, I suppose.
Okay. All right.
You know, but what I want to say in summary is this: Anambra is getting better. Anambra is moving at a faster pace.
You have to reserve some for when you come for campaigns.
And
you definitely will have to remain some of them.
Mr. Governor couldn't have done it without the achievements of his predecessors.
All right.
And we acknowledge that.
All right.
And he acknowledges that.
I think that's it.
And he also acknowledges and thanks the Anambra for the support they gave in welcoming Mr. President.
The President.
I guess the CP put it wrongly when he said for not being violent, rather for showing.
And I thank the caller for being that. That
so I think that he put it in the wrong way, in the wrong presentation.
Right.
All right. Anambra not violent.
All right. This is definitely a fine place to leave it. We can finish the conversation today, and we definitely have to remain some because my guest today will be coming back here. For the campaigns. We know very soon, from
June 11th,
as our people will say. All right, Citizens Forum definitely will be here same time, same station next week. Of course, I thank Dr. Alex Obiogbolu, a special advisor to Governor Chukwuma Soludo on political matters, for taking time out to come to Citizens Forum, and talk to us today. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure being here always.
All right, I'm Juma Nekeji. Thank you for being here. See you again next week.